Welcome back to day 21, where we dig into some interesting stuff because, well, knockoffs can be interesting things. Sometimes they're just chintzy Dollarama pickups. Other times they can be figures that can actually outdo the original. And anyway, this is one that intrigued me when I saw someone online posting pics of this. This is a upscale of the deluxe Transformers One Megatron with a few tweaks, a few changes, and yeah, overall it's going to be a bigger figure, and I am very curious to see how it is. You can see here it's got a few different weapons that they're advertising. Like, for instance, it actually has the accurate cannon to the film that Megatron has at the end of the movie after he gets his upgraded fusion cannon when he takes Megatronus's T-Cog for himself. So yeah, it looks like it's just a simple tray in here. So let's get this thing out and let's take a look at it, shall we? I mean, the first thing that's jumping out is that this is a lot glossier than the original toy. Like, the original toy is a much more matte finish. This one here, you can see, very glossy, probably just function of the plastic that's used, and it's got some reasonable weight to it, I guess. It doesn't feel chintzy. Like, it doesn't feel like it's ridiculously cheap or anything like that, but yeah. Standing this guy up here, you can see, though, that, wow, there is a pretty big size difference here between the two figures. Yeah, we got this here. He does come with the original fusion cannon that the toy had. And with that said, we're going to put these two next to each other just so that we can compare. And yeah, hold up. Let's do this here. Yeah, just taking a look at this here. Yeah, the guns are folded down here. Yeah, just looking at these two figures, you can see some big differences. I'm just going to fold the guns down here as well, just for comparison's sake. But yeah, I mean, height-wise, this is a massive, massive difference. It looks like all the detail is pretty much all there, pretty much all recreated, though. You can see we still have those pins in the same spots. The head sculpt, looking at the head sculpt looks like it's pretty much just a one-to-one replica. No real differences there. Like, they went for the same color tones and everything like that. It's just glossier plastic. I think the face paint might be a little bit more of a lighter silver, but yeah. Taking a look at articulation on this guy, let's see. We have a ball-jointed head. We have ball joints here in the arms. They feel a little bit loose. They feel a little bit oversized, but again, this is just a straight-up knockoff, so it's the exact same structure as far as this goes. Let's see. We've got a swivel here all the way around. We have about 90... Oh, no, we got a bit more than 90 degrees here in the arms. We do have wrists. He does have wrist articulation. What else? Waist joint. It is being blocked by these, but it does go all the way around. At least it should. Yeah, it looks like it should. It's just being blocked by its own sculpt, really. But, I mean, it goes around as much as it should. Let's see. Legs can do the full splits. What else? Do we have a thigh swivel on this guy? We got a swivel down here, I guess, above the knee. So it's not a thigh swivel up here. But then I think that's the same as the Hasbro figure. Yeah, you can see here, yeah, just because of the transformation, there's no thigh swivel there. Let's see, knee bend. Knees do bend still. Knees bend about 90 degrees or so. And then we have just your standard ankle tilts with in and out and up and down for the feet. So yeah, again, like a much, much bigger toy, and that is really the big reason to get this, just for that size glow up. And as I mentioned, he's got that alternate cannon, which we can see over here. Just pegs in the same spot, and this is based off the fusion cannon that he has at the end of the movie. They even painted the barrel purple here, which is a really nice touch. Really nice attention to detail. I really like that. And I do really like just this more beefed up cannon. Like, you could very much treat this, I suppose, if you wanted to, like Megatron's upgrade at the very end of the movie. Yeah. To do some quick size comparisons with this guy before we transform him out. Yeah, so here we have Sentinel Prime next to him. Yeah, he is just towering over Sentinel now. Like, this one feels much more in scale with Sentinel. But yeah, this guy just towers over him like a machine. Bringing in another Megatron as well. Here is the 86 Megatron. And they are pretty close in terms of size. So yeah, this Megatron actually feels like he fits in pretty well with your standard, like, 86 guys. Like, just, you know, like, head-wise, he's a little bit shorter, I think. It's hard to tell. They're really close. But proportion-wise, they are very similar. But yeah, he would go really well with a lot of Generations figures, with that said. And then, of course, we bring him in with Orion Pax. We can see here, Optimus Prime. We can see here that, yeah, he is just towering over Prime right there. So, yeah, that is this big boy. So let's get him into his alt mode now. We're going to start by just popping these guys off the arms, pop the weapons off. Incidentally, he does still have the jetpack slot on his back here too. You know, I wonder. Yeah, looking at these here, it looks like they upscaled this slot as well, so I don't think it's going to work with the Elite 1 jetpack. Yeah, everything on this guy is just a straight upscale. But yeah, so we bring all this stuff up here. We open up this, store the head away. I'm just trying to remember how everything goes on this guy. I think this comes around like this. It's been a while since I've transformed one Megatron. But, hey, it's a good toy. It's got a good tank mode. We have these treads in here that are going to come out. I think this is all... Yeah, these treads come out like that there. What else do we got to do? These legs are going to come out like this. Very similar to the Siege and Earthrise Megatron in terms of how the legs transform. They just come out like this. And, like, nothing feels, like, overly loose or anything either, too, which is nice. Yeah, it doesn't feel like anything is ridiculously loose. Yeah, so those go there. You can see here that these are going to come up and around as well. At least I think that's how this is supposed to go. Just looking at all the cuts here. What else for the transformation? Let's see. Yeah, this guy comes down over here. That's gonna lock down over top of that. Yeah, this guy needs to flip up like this. This guy's gonna come around. Yeah, we can actually pop this whole back piece off too, I think. But yeah, it's just got this arm in the way. Yeah, this whole guy, yeah, this can pop off. It's going to be a little bit easier if you just pop it off. It's going to just come back down over here afterwards, I think. So, yeah, this just swings around and up like this too. This whole area is going to just cover the head once it's all in. And then, yeah, we got these back treads over here. Again, that's why you got this double hinge. Yeah, the hands are going to fold around like that. Hands fold around. Oh, this one's swinging off. There we go. Yeah, hands are just going to go around like that. Yeah, come up over here, slot in. Yeah, come around here, slot in. Use that double hinge properly. And these come around like this here. And, oh no, they're going to come around like this. Yes, these are going to come around like this. Let's see what else there is to plug in. I'm seeing there's already a little bit of rubbing here and there. I think this brown, it might actually be all done in, yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of rubbing. So I'm wondering if if this is all actually paint rather than plastic. I'm not sure. I'm noticing a little bit of like some splotches on the sides, so I'm not really sure what the story is with those. But we're almost done now. I just need to figure out the last bit. It's been a while since I transformed this guy, so let's look at a box photo. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, so these guys are going to have to come up over top. So I'm just trying to remember how these panels get up. Let's see. It's been a good long while since I transformed this guy. But these panels are supposed to come, just looking at the images, these panels are, oh, I've got the legs upside down, I think, but I think that's my problem, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, these legs need to swing around like this. So yeah, swing the legs around 180. And then, yeah, these guys here are going to go down like, these guys still go up like this. And this guy is going to come down and just feed in over here. Yeah, and then this taps into this. Hooray for actually looking at images of what I'm doing. And then, this guy's going to tab into the chest here. This guy's going to tab into the chest here as well. And this just all has to, this guy needs to come back up here, slot in like that. That goes there. This guy, there we go. That guy folds down like that. We've almost got this tank mode done now. Now we just bring these guys up in over here. There's going to be a slot to tab this in. Slot to tab this in over here too. And then, we're pretty much done now. Just finished fine-tuning everything here. We got the little turret over here. And then we now would put in his other cannons and stuff too. So this cannon here is going to go up over top like this. I think that's where that one goes. Actually, it doesn't really show in the box where that one goes. I'm looking at the all-mode photos, but yeah, we can plug this one over here. And then, of course, this cannon here can just clip in down here, like on the original. We can clip this cannon in there, and then we have his whole fusion cannon layout here, like this. And that is the configuration that is based off the original toy. For the sake of comparison, I figured that we should bring in the original figure, just transformed into all mode as well. And you can see here that, it is just a straight up upscale. There's not really much in any differences here. But the main differences really is just a few like stability things because things got upscaled. Like we've got screws here instead of pins, which is probably just a case of those joints getting bigger. In fact, it looks like he's using screws in these spots as well instead of pins. Like it's just a consequence of upscaling the toy. Different size pins here, some slight tweaks over here, but not a lot. Overall, you can see here that most everything is the same. We got rid of a little bit of the numbering there that they put there for like just parts information, but most everything is the same here. I think about the main difference in terms of actual paint is that they painted the shin bits here a silver on this one, whereas they look to just not be painted on the original version of the toy. But looking at the actual detail, I mean, there's not a lot that's that different. They're very, very similar in terms of decos. Very similar. But what this guy can do, of course, that the other one can't do, is we have that other gun. We have this other bigger fusion cannon that this is still going to work with this toy. I'm actually not sure how it's supposed to work with this toy. But they do advertise it as working with this toy. I don't actually know if it goes on there, but looking at the actual stuff, though, I was doing the cannon wrong. A cannon is actually supposed to be like this, where you clip these parts together, and then you clip this back in over here, just to give him his movie-accurate cannon. And then these guys, you can just pop off and put on the side over here, just to not impede the whole visual of this giant fusion cannon like this. Yeah, that just like doubles down on the whole giant barrel imagery that we have for Megatron. And yeah, I don't know if this one actually is able to store in his other mode, unfortunately. This little guy does come off like it's two pieces here. But I don't think those are actually going to peg in on the underside here. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. He can't actually use this giant cannon to replace his fusion cannon like this here. So you still do have to use this cannon. I guess you do have the option, of course, with this one here. You could just like plug it onto the side of his vehicle mode or something like that, like this here, and just give him this extra barrel. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much the extent of how you can use this guy for plugging it in. Still pretty cool, though. I gotta admit, it's still very, very cool. Anyway, to do a final summary, this is a pretty well done upscale of Transformers One Megatron. It's not really bringing anything new to the table other than size, and I guess the second fusion cannon, which gives him that end of movie accuracy. But yeah, I mean, it's the original toy, but it's just got some size tweaks. So if you want a guy who is going to tower over your other generations figures and fit in with that scale, this is not a bad Megatron to have. He's going to be out of scale with your Transformers 1 figures, certainly, but as a standalone piece on the shelf, he looks pretty good, yeah. And with that said, this is going to be Techno signing off. Until next time.